What's up, everybody? John Charmijo here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to show it to you right now. This is the new album from the band Ruin, entitled Human Annihilation. This is released on Memento Mori Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they are based out of California, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very traditional, gritty, serial killer influenced style of death metal. Yeah. Before I get into talking about this album, let me first of all say to all of my subscribers out there, Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you're having a great day. I hope you're able to be spending it with all of your friends, family, or loved ones, and you're getting to have a good feast, or just have a good day in general, regardless of what you're doing, making the most of your opportunities. There are lots of things to be thankful for in life, but as would be for me, one of the things I'm the most thankful for is death fucking metal. And that's why I wanted to give you guys a little bit of a Thanksgiving Day surprise here with this review. But yeah, let's get on to talking about Ruin. This band has been on an absolute tear ever since I first got introduced to them, and ever since I was able to see this band progress and get better and stronger with time. Of course, this band put out a demo back in 2015 entitled Spread Plague Hell. That demo was something very, very special. I mean, there's so much detail that went into that demo release, from the aesthetic of how this demo was released, with the little cloth bag with the image, with the screen printed image on it, to the tape itself. Very DIY rooted sort of death metal, but everything about that release was incredible. I mean, Ruin had been around for a really, really long time, predating back to the beginning of the 90s, but it was only until this brand new millennium that we finally got what Ruin was all about with that particular demo. That was a great demo, but only then later on would we get a full-length album from this band. That full-length album being last year's Drown in Blood. Everything about Drown in Blood is what embodied what I loved so much about death metal. The tension, the scariness, the riffs, the drumming, the vocals that feel like... It feels like you're listening to a guy literally vomit onto a microphone. That's the type of feeling and vibe I got when I listened to that sort of album. And that was almost to the top of the food chain for me last year when it came to the best of 2017. That's still my favorite death metal album of last year, and this album still holds up very, very nicely. But yeah, ever since then, Ruin has just stayed active, stayed busy, putting out a whole bunch of split releases, compilation of demo and EP releases, playing live shows, just keeping their own unique spin on death metal very, very, very well. When I found out that there was going to be a new Ruin full-length album coming in 2018, I was very, very excited. Very excited for the possibilities as to how they were going to get things done this time. How are they going to be able to potentially top something as incredible as Drown in Blood was? And of course, then began the waiting period and to where we are at now, with the second full-length album from Ruin entitled Human Annihilation. It's 10 tracks, and it clocks in at around 32 minutes in length, so one thing to note right off the bat is that it scales things back just a little bit as far as album length goes. It's a little bit of a shorter record this time around, but with this less is more sort of approach, we get on to listening to this actual album in general. And yeah, I'm at a difficult point where I'm not sure whether I like this one album more than I do Drown in Blood. But what I can say about Human Annihilation is that this is easily one of my favorite, if not my absolute favorite death metal release of 2018. The new Torture Rack was looking pretty good for a little while, but listening to this Ruin album so much only entangled what I really enjoyed the most about Ruin, and that is just some seriously filthy, dirty, grimy, nasty death metal That's what Ruin is all about, and that's what you get with the 10 tracks that are on this full-length album. I mean, the way this album starts off, it feels as though you're listening to the beginning parts of a synth, of an 80s horror movie. You get that little sort of synth part going at the beginning of that track, Secreted Guts. But then once the actual song kicks in, and then you listen throughout the rest of this album, you already know what Ruin are setting you up for. This album will kill you with its heaviness, its chaoticness. It's just overall an amazing death metal record. I mean, musically, it's what you got from the last record, but even amped up a lot further. A lot of heavy, well-toned riffs, just very nasty from the get-go. I love the guitar playing. I love the franticness. I love the riffs. The riffs are just so fucking awesome. I mean, listening to songs like Secreted Guts, Corpse Infestation, The Embrace of Demons, Purification Rites. I mean, Ruin really get the ball rolling when they're at their quickest. But when they're at their slowest, you just get a grip of fear and terror just listening to these guitar riffs sound the way that they do. It's just really, really awesome, and I definitely love the sound quality and tone that they're going for here with these guitar riffs. It's really, really something special. The bass work on here is very good too, very much in line with the heaviness that these guitars bring, the way this album sounds, the way everything is produced. It feels natural, it feels raw, the tones feel just right. It just feels very, very awesome to listen to. Everything blended it all together just works out perfectly. Drum-wise, I love this drum performance a lot. I love the fact that it's really not so reliant on blast beats and just overall going crazy. You get that sort of D-beat sort of style of drum performance going on here on certain parts. And even once you get to the slower, more methodical moments of this record, I mean, going to songs like Death Meditation, Trance, and then the closer of this record with Shadows, you just get a lot of diversity with this drum performance, but it's still as raw and as unbridled as every other instrument you hear throughout this record. Everything sounds amazing. Every drum, the way everything sounds, it's awesome. It is a very, very genuine to the heart death metal drum performance going on here. Very, very awesome stuff to listen to. And when it comes to the vocals, of course, what made Drown in Blood so special was the fact that this vocalist sounded so demonic and possessed and just straight up evil. And the evilness continues on forward here with Human Annihilation. Listening to this guy gurgle and growl and do the vocal style that he does, it's so unique, it's so distinctive. It sets Ruin apart from a lot of other death metal bands from within the underground and within extreme metal in general. It's just so special. I love his vocal delivery. I love the way he spouts off the lyrics. I love the way he screams, growls, retches. It's just perfect. I love his vocal style a lot. And of course, being that this is a band that embodies a lot of influence from death, morbidity, serial killers, all that sort of shit, you get all of those special kind of lyrics here with this album, and this is the type of stuff that just makes you feel uneasy. It makes you uncomfortable. The queasiness of the guitar riffs mixed with the retching, gurgling nastiness that comes from the vocals of this band, it's just really, really sick. And I love that so much about this vocal performance. That's what something that makes Ruin sound so special and be so unique and different from the pack. So overall, like I said, I'm not sure whether I like this album more than I do Drown in Blood. I would have to say Human Annihilation is something completely different, completely standing out on its own. But as far as death metal goes, this is everything I would want in a death metal album and that much more. From the psychology of the lyrics, to the vocals, to the drumming, to the guitar and bass work, to the artwork, the production, everything about Human Annihilation is what a death metal record should feel like and be like. If you were a fan of the first the first Ruin record, you're gonna like this one just as much, and for some, you might like it just a tad bit more. but Ruin have a lot of big things going on for them right now, and I cannot wait to see how things continue to progress forward for Ruin. This is the total package of what death metal is all about, and I fucking love this album so much. If I had to think of any personal favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Secreted Guts. And Horrific Disgust is another great track. Death Meditation Trance is very good. The Embrace of Demons, In Their Blood, and the closing track, Shadows, which is just fucking marvelous. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave you some links in the description box as to how you can get a hold of this album and listen to it. I believe there are a couple of tracks streaming off of this album currently right now on YouTube. I will also leave you a link to where you can purchase a physical copy. If you live outside of the United States, you can buy it directly through Memento Mori. And if you happen to live in the US, I believe the band themselves have particular copies. Of course, what I hold in my hand is the physical CD version that Memento Mori put out. There you see the band members in question. Yeah, very, very top quality stuff here with this CD. And let me show you one little bit of the artwork in question here. I love this little part of the booklet here. Wanted poster with what looks like to be the band members of Ruin designed here to make it seem like they've committed crimes. It's really, really crazy shit. I love that so much about this booklet. The tape version is going to be put out through, I believe, Nero One Records, and I believe the vinyl version of this will be available sometime in March of 2019. So definitely keep an eye and ear out for when other physical variants of this album are available. So again, the album is Human Annihilation by Ruin. This is released on Memento Mori Records. Go check this one out. This is mandatory purchasing. And for a score, I'm going to give this one the highest score I can possibly give, and that is a perfect 10 out of 10. This is death metal superiority, death metal evil, death metal ugly, death metal masterpiece. So if you happen to have heard this album, definitely let me know what you think about it, how you feel about it, and how you think it compares to the previous Ruin releases. Or if any of you guys into Ruin, definitely let me know. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I'm going to conclude this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel. And until the next time, Army Ho out.